Praise the Lord. Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Lesia the Preacha. So I'm going to read to you chapter 3 of my book, Surviving Single Parenting from a Christian Perspective. And chapter 3 is called Map Out an Annual Plan. So let me get started. This is going to be really short, just so you know. God encourages his people to study, search, and work out their salvation. Nehemiah had a plan. So I'm going to share with you Nehemiah's plan. I love this story. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Nehemiah was sad, wept and mourned, but he fasted and prayed unto God and asking for the forgiveness of his people. God prepared Nehemiah for his presentation before the king by being able to, 1, set a time for his journey, 2, request for letters to travel, and 3, request for letters to be given timber to make beams, walls, and a house for himself. All right. Check to see, once Nehemiah got there, what the situation was, is when God continued to guide him to completion. I'm going to read that one more time. Check to see, once Nehemiah got there, what the situation was, is when God continued to guide him to completion. Okay. Is it possible that if Nehemiah knew every detail from start to finish, like all the trials of the people, that he would have prolonged the journey? Exactly. So God gave him bits and pieces as he went. That's what it sounds like. Okay, that's what's up. He did not tell any man of what God told him to do until the appropriate time. I had a reading on that recently about being private. Check out my reading on being private. I mean, because in Ecclesiastes it says there's a time. There's a time to speak and be bold. There's a time for it. But then there's also a time to be quiet. Quiet people avoid the time is needed to be voiceful because they're naturally quiet, so it's a challenge to be voiceful. And then voiceful people, it's natural to be voiceful, so we find it hard to be quiet, you know. Point out that God gives us specific instructions at established times. Share my testimony. Immediately upon my pursuit of higher education, the Lord revealed to me the need of a planner. He inspired me to write down every detail of the upcoming school year, month, week, and day-to-day activities. Because again, when you're single parenting, you have to be organized. You have to be successful. I literally mapped out a financial projection of my tuition, daycare, rent, and complete home economic picture. Whoa. This projection included homework studies, grocery selections, laundry schedules, prayer and Bible study, and quality time with the children. And I put quality time in quotation marks. It amazes me how intimate and caring God desires to be in our daily living. Oh, wow. In our daily living, there are times when the Lord desires to be this intimate with us. With Nehemiah, Nehemiah couldn't bust a move. He couldn't bust a left or a right without getting God's immediate instruction at the time. And then I recall mapping out when to do the whites, when to do the darks. And then, you have to consider the kids' visitation schedule, to have clothes to send and be prepared in case everything doesn't come back. And, that process of, organizing the laundry for that week and all of that. There's so much that goes into managing your home. And this chapter, it says here, I literally mapped out a financial projection. You have to take in consideration for the year. So let's say it's January. Excuse me, my throat is a little scratchy here. Let's say it's January. You need to know what February, March, April, all the months for the entire year. You should have an idea, a written down plan as to what your income is for each month. You should have an idea ahead of time what your bills are each month. What will hit later on, what's you're responsible for now. All of that helps when considering putting all this together so that you can successfully plan your time, because when you're single parenting, your time is so precious and so valuable and limited, scarce. So you have to be on a schedule. You have to literally map out, write down, use a calendar. Look, I use a calendar now. I still do this today. And I must say, when I was a teenager, these suckers got me in trouble too. Sometimes I would have a nosy boyfriend who would go through my purse and look through my date planner. Well, I didn't let that discourage me. I still write down my life. That's just how I am. Yeah, this is all of May. I'm writing down, what I'm planning on doing. June, this is June 2019. I have stuff written down. July, I already have something written in July. So, practice what you preach. When you say you're going to plan out, you're going to put together some type of projection for the year, do it. You can get this at the dollar store. You can get one of these little things at the dollar store, or like Dollar General or Family Dollar, you know, a lot of those local stores like that, you know, Walmart, any of these planners. Monthly. I use the monthly that shows the month, but then if you open the tab, it, you know, it breaks it down by the day. So it's very important to get the type of planner that will help you organize your life the way you need to. I also use the planner on my, the calendars on my cell phone. You know, I would show you, but I'm using my phone to make the video. But again, I'm not going to, you know, make this a long video. This is going to be short because, you know, it's a short chapter. And I just want to encourage you to sit down and plan things out. People feel intimidated by that process. And I'm not sure why. But until you do, you know, it makes life more difficult. It makes it very difficult. It helps. And people say, well, you know, it makes me feel depressed to see all my bills like that. You know, and I'm like, well, it's depressed to see your income not meted. That's more depressing. Where if you can project and see ahead of time where maybe you can do something about the financial things, you know. Well, again, thank you for allowing me to share chapter 3 of my book, Surviving Single Parenting from a Christian Perspective. And this was chapter 3, Map Out an Annual Plan, with Dr. Lesia the Preacha. Thank you. Bye-bye.